Welcome to Love You Bro podcast, where I'm your host, Jude Davella. And as I always get to do it up, I get to do it up with my baby brother, Jamie.
What to do?
What's up, man? Lots to talk about, man. Lots to talk about. And we talked a little bit last week about our new digs down here at Love You Bro podcast. What do we call this? Love You Bro podcast Studio West.
Yeah, Studio West. That's
Studio West, man. We love doing that here, guys. We may start doing a few more down here. We're going to continue moving them around. Guys, as we always say when we start off our podcast, please go to YouTube and subscribe. It's free. And also follow us on Instagram, TikTok. Check out all of our reels, you guys. Quinn Cosgrove kills our reels, does a great job. Thanks to our guest last week, Chase Kaufman. Great episode.
A lot of fun.
Yep. If you haven't seen it, go up and check that episode out. Jamie and I were talking earlier today. Go check out our episode if you have not seen it with Nate Bucati about World Cup. One of our best and one of our favorite shows we've ever done was with
awesome.
Nate. Yeah. So go check some of those out. Guys, we want to thank, first of all, we just want to give a big shout out to Maloney Sports Bar and Grill. They're a huge sponsor of ours, bro.
Yeah, man.
They allow us to get to do this every week and do what we do. We'll be doing an episode there here in a couple weeks. I think I'm going to circle back, as I told you earlier today, circle back and see if we can get Matt Beasley to come on that show.
Yeah, absolutely.
But thank you to Maloney's and everything you guys do over there. One of the best sports bars here in the Overland Park area in Kansas. We love the food there, the drink. We did our KU-MU show there last year. Place was packed, bro. That was a lot of fun. That place was popping.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Game.
That was awesome.
So many TVs, you guys. You got the TVs downstairs, TVs upstairs. Always got drink specials. So go to Maloney's, check them out. Their wait staff, bartenders are great. They'll take great care of you. So big shout out to everything they do over at Maloney Sports Bar and Grill in Overland Park. Thank you guys for being one of our resident sponsors. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Can't wait to get back up there. And my girl Whitney, she holds the bar down up there. She holds it down. So I can't wait to get back up there and do some episodes. College football season up there.
Yeah, we have our draft coming up. Will Gregory invited us again to do the what is it, celebrity?
Yeah,
I don't know if we're celebrities, but we're in the Celebrity Fantasy Football League at Hollywood Casino.
Yep, and last year I went pretty far. Stephen St. John knocked me out. I think in the semifinals he knocked me out. But it's a lot of fun. I love that. I love that fantasy sport. Fantasy football, fantasy sports. Yeah. But no, it'd be great to get back to Maloney's. And like I said, and it's so close, man. That's what's kind of lead us up to like everything that's going on. right now, college football, a lot happening in college football, and then obviously NFL, a lot going on. There's games going on tonight, and then Boys in Red Saturday.
Yeah, man. Boys in Red Saturday. Obviously, we'll see no Mahomes. But I told you, we always like to send each other clips and everything during the week. And I sent you one from Adam Schefter today that he was over at Chiefs camp, and what he said about coming out and seeing Mahomes and seeing some of the guys. He is really impressed in where Patrick is coming off his ACL injury that he had in December. He could not believe how fluid he was, moving around, throwing the ball around, how he was, not the leadership role, because he's always had that leadership role. Patrick's always had that, man. He's got that it. But he said he loved the way he saw his fluid motion, the way he was moving left, right, throwing the ball.
Yeah.
I think week one he's going to be there, bro.
Yeah, that's all indications, unless they're hiding something that we're not. All indications he's going to be there week one. And it's and I've heard, every side of it. I've heard guys on CBS, football talking about it, being like they don't know if they would play him right away. He's going to play, and if he's cleared and he's, he doesn't have any setbacks, he's going to be out there. Bo Nix's going to be out there week one.
Right.
And that's when it's going to get, I'm so excited for this season to see where it goes, how it goes. We haven't had probably, like this uncertain in a really long time.
Right.
You're probably talking a decade that we really don't know. Right now, what anything's going to look like.
No.
We don't know.
Who loves the Chiefs more than we do is Nick Wright, who's got a show.
Oh yeah.
So I saw him come out. He was talking about, as much as he always picks us to win the Super Bowl and everything, he said as much confidence as he had, this is the least amount, just because there's so many, like you said, so many unknown variables.
There's so many. I mean, there's so many unknowns. I mean, you're talking. The entire secondary is revamped.
Right.
I mean, the entire secondary. The great news that was out today was that Mansour, he had the yellow jersey off, and it was a light practice, but it was the first time he has not had the yellow jersey. Since camp was in session.
Right.
So I heard some guys talking yesterday, and they said he was a little bit more physical, and they showed some film of him and She going at it. Not going at it, but going. Of
course.
And then today he didn't have it on. So hopefully after this game next week, when they get the pads back on, he's not, which will make me feel a lot more comfortable. He's going to be ready for week 1. It's going to be interesting. And Spags came out 2 days ago and said it's not coming along as fast as he'd like it to. But you're implementing a lot of new parts.
And
Spags isn't a guy that likes to play young kids.
Yep.
I mean, he's not, but he's forced to. He's forced to, and it's going to be, going from secondary and going in. I mean, you have an entirely new secondary,
right?
New secondary. And the kid they brought over from Baltimore, which was with the Chargers as well, like Spags said, he's new. He's new to the offense.
Right.
He's
defense,
he's new to the defense, and so it's not like you had a guy that's been in the program. So there's a lot going on there. I imagine Spags is not getting much sleep right now. I mean, we're trying to prepare these kids, and
a lot of unknown variables. I think that's and you know what, we haven't really talked about this because usually we'll do a whole show on it, but I want to jump into it, man. Since we're talking this right now, let's look a little bit at the schedule and kind of jump on this thing a little bit, because we start off firing bullets right off the bat. Monday night, September 14th, Broncos here. I mean, huge game on that Monday night game. But I mean, that's one of those ones where you'd really like to see us, get off the slide and get it. But the NFL didn't do us any favors by putting the Broncos here opening night.
Yeah, no, I mean they obviously did not. But it's and once again, it's one of those games that there's not really a must-win game week 1, but
no.
It's close to a must-win game, because that means you have to go to Denver. You start down in the division.
Yeah.
You start 0-1 in the division, and depending on how they look, I mean, it could be where we're like, this is going to be a long year.
Right.
I mean, depending on how how that goes. They had I was looking at Pro Football Focus, and they had a great breakdown. And they had just last couple of days, they had the best 30 tackles in football. We didn't obviously not have one of them.
Right.
As offensive line goes, they have the 8th best offensive line in football, and I think it's if Josh is going to have the type of year that I think we think he's going to have, that could definitely shoot that into the top 5
for sure. For sure.
But what's crazy is Denver's got the number 1 offensive line in football.
Ooh.
Listen to this: Garrett Bowles, everything left tackle, had 208 pass rushes and did not give up a sack last year. Neither one of their tackles gave up a sack last year. And that's saying a lot. I mean, that's saying a lot with the pass rushers that are in the NFL. So, and then like the Chargers were right before us.
Right.
The Colts are 3. But just to kind of break it down, like schedule wise, who we play and when we play them, that our pass rush is going to have to be up to point. But I think it's rightfully so where we are. We have a great interior. We have great interior. Are one of the highest paid interiors in the NFL. But the question mark is, because Josh was, injured last year, is if he can be healthy, and then what you get from the right tackle, Jalen Moore. What's crazy to me as well.
Do you think Jalen starts?
Yes, I think he does.
You do?
But what is crazy to me, and you can look at it a couple ways here. You can look at it as they're not totally stoked with the guard position, because Trey's out right now, and they slid Khalil Benson into right guard.
Left guard.
Excuse me.
No, right guard. Yeah. Suamati is the left.
Yeah.
Suamati and Josh Simmons.
So they slid him in to right guard. So he's the first guy. So so the glass half full is like they don't like the backup guards. The glass, half full is this kid can play, and they're going to trying to find a position for him. Right. So he's essentially going to be, they're. Probably, I would imagine Jalen starting week 1, depending on how it goes. And then next year, he's your starting right tackle if they like him as much as they do. So, with that being said, it'll be, obviously your first and foremost is to put, protect Mahomes. And a couple of things on spin off that is yesterday in his presser, Coach Bags was talking about how it's been different than years past with them having to be, because one of the things he said, he wants them to be more physical defensively and play with a little bit more of a nastiness, a little bit more of an edge. And he said that they are facing in practice, you read this into what you will, and I read it as they're running the ball a lot more, but I think they're running the ball. And he said they were kind of going up the middle and they busted some big runs. So he said what they have previously practiced against, it's different this year in training camp. They're going against a lot more runs. So he wants to see physicality from them and see, so yeah, I mean, there's so much unknown, and that's why I think everyone is super intrigued. And there's a lot of people, from Colin Cowherd that, says they're going back to the playoffs. He didn't predict them to go to the Super Bowl, but I think a lot of people are saying it's an easy, low hanging fruit to say the Chiefs are going back to the playoffs this year, and they're not going to miss it 2 years in a row because, of what they have coming back. And, but it is.
So let's break down their first 4 games. We won't break down the whole schedule because we'll do a show right before the season starts where we go and we pick and we make a bet and everything. You did win last year. You did have close to the record. Well, not close to the record, but you had
Broncos winning the division.
But Broncos won the division. Yeah. So what we're going to see. So we'll do another whole schedule show that we'll do. But let's just break down the first 4 weeks because to me, they're going to have to get off the Snyder. They're going to have to get off to a good start, to a fast start if this season's going to be, if they're going to make it to the playoffs. They can't come out of this thing 1-3, 1-4 and say, well, we had not a lot of new faces, not new places, because if they do, they could be an 8-9 season. It could be a 9-8 season.
Yeah.
So you get the Broncos opening week, that first week. Honestly, between you and I right here, if you had $5 to bet, who would you take opening night?
Denver.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, right now they're a lot lesser. They're in set. Yeah. I mean, they got the best offensive line in football. They got 2 running backs.
Football and then defense.
And then Dobbins and then RJ Harvey kid last year, he came on strong. And then they went out and got, Waddle. So you put Waddle on the other side of Cortland Sutton and you got Ingram as a tight end with the best offensive line in football, and Bo Nix, who's not going to blow you away where you're going to be like, "Oh my god, he's the next coming."
Week 1?
Yes, absolutely. So I unless with being what we know now, which is nothing, to like what roster to roster, I think Denver wins that opening.
Okay. So we start off 0-1, and then we go to week 2, Sunday Night Football. Colts coming here.
Once again, I mean, it depends. The Colts have, they're kind of in a, weird position as well. They're kind of make or break year for them. Danny Dimes is coming back, who does not scare me. No. We beat him last year, and that's when I thought we were going to go on that run last year when we were down to them, came back and beat them. But depending on where our defense is, once again, that's what I'm saying. It's so hard to do this because if the defense is still trying, obviously trying to gel. Right. I mean, you can see a game. Jonathan Stewart goes off for 150.
Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor. That goes. You know what I'm saying? So that's a tough one. I mean, I would think if they lose at Denver, they get that one against Indy. I mean, I would say that we do.
And Jonathan Taylor has got a boatload of money. He's got a bag full of money.
Yeah.
He probably don't run as hard.
All the
bag load of money.
He's a little different, but.
Okay, so say we start off Broncos, we lose. We'll just say we come out of shoot, we lose the Broncos, we lose to Denver. Nobody's going to be surprised. Nobody's going to be shocked to that. You get the Colts week 2. We're hoping at the Colts we get that one here at home to at least go 1-1 to start the season off. Then you go move on to these next 2 games, which to me, and I'm not just saying that it's chalking them up wins because everybody shows up and you're going to have to go play football, but you go at the Miami Dolphins.
No
Waddle, no Tyreek Hill.
Put it this way: if they go and lose to Miami, like it's panic time. It's panic because Malik Willis does not scare me. They have Ashane, but they don't have anything out wide. Right. They don't have the tight end. Waller.
No more Waddle, man. No Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Waddle. And they're a big tight end last year. Right. He signed with Carolina yesterday, I think. So
really?
That's a game that if you, once again, you got to lace them up. You got to go out there and play. And any given Sunday, the old cliche. But if you can't beat Miami, you got problems.
Okay, so we start off the first 2 at home. We got Broncos, Colts, and you go to the Dolphins. That Dolphins game's 9:27, and then the following week you go for a 3:25 game on Sunday, October 4th, which is our mama's birthday. Chiefs at the Raiders.
I don't know. It's the Raiders. you could see them improving on the field
Right.
last year. I mean, you could see improvement. They went out and spent some money this year,
Yeah, they did.
and they brought defensively.
They had a good draft class,
Yeah,
and they
brought Crosby back from the trade, and Kubiak's a hell of a coach.
Yeah,
I mean,
yes,
and you know,
coach.
Tom Brady in the front office. I mean, that's no longer a cakewalk where you're like they're going to curb stomp the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders are, and you have a extremely like a quarterback in Kirk Cousins who can win games.
Yeah.
I mean, Kirk Cousins isn't going to fuck it up where he's going to like throw six picks and like play out of his, you know, making silly mistakes. So I mean, that's a tough. I mean, you know,
he's not a mobile dude though. So I think he's a guy you go get a little bit. I think you go after Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. I mean, but it's once again that's going to be a dogfight. I mean, that's going to be a dogfight where it's going to be close. But I think we should win that.
So you just say you come out of there. Say you come out of there 3-1. Come out of there 3-1. We get a bye week, which is a way too early bye week.
Yep, that's where they got screwed on that bye week there.
Bye week in week 5.
They got screwed. And the schedule is the schedule. You're going to play who you play, but the bye week being that early, that's trash.
So the 3 games you come in after that, though, right? Because you're gonna have to be at least 3-1, bro. You're gonna have to be at least 3-1 because right after that we come home against the Chargers, which the Chargers are legit. We got to come home and play the Chargers. Then you go at Seattle, at Denver. I mean, bro, that's brutal. Those 3 weeks are brutal, bro.
And you know, that I mean, that's going to be tough. And about the Chargers, Harbaugh's awesome. Everyone loves Harbaugh. He's quirky and he's
your dude's over there at the offensive coordinator position.
McDaniels.
You like him. You like him a lot.
Love him, man.
Yeah.
I love that dude, and I think he is super creative. He's super innovative. He can relate to his players. And I said it last year, over his skis as a head coach, but an offensive coordinator.
Solid offensive coordinator.
Yeah, and once again, you got Herbert, who is damn good, damn tough. I saw that kid with broken ribs or whatever when he played against Mahomes, and he can stand in the pocket, make throws. And the kid they got last year, who I wanted to see the Chiefs get, Omari in Hampton, he's a dog, running back wise. Running back wise, they got. So I mean, that's going to be. And then once again, they get their All-Pro Slater back at left tackle, which means Alt slides back over to right tackle. So it solidifies that new. I mean, solidifies not new, but solidifies the offensive line that it's one of the better ones in football as well.
Right.
So that's. I mean, that Charger game is going to be. It's going to be a tough. I mean, it's a tough sledding, but that 3-game stretch is brutal.
Brutal stretch, bro.
Brutal.
Chargers at the Seahawks, at the Super Bowl champs, and then at the Broncos.
Yes, I mean that there is that's a lot.
I'm looking up here at 2 guys that are trying to compete against us in the podcast world. I don't know. They got a little show called New Heights. Shout out to Jason Kelsey and at Killatrav. Travis Kelsey, 2 guys I know very well. You know Travis. You met Jason. Great dudes, man. And shout out to what those guys do.
Oh, man, it's incredible.
That thing is
all of it's incredible.
I mean, it's the number 1 sports podcast in the country. They're in the top 5 of every category you can look at. So,
and
shout out to what those dudes do at New Heights.
Their guest list is obviously second to none. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Dude, their guest list is unreal.
They're unbelievable. So yeah, I mean, so I think they're the first one. But once again, doing this is kind of just going off of what we're doing. But I think that there's so many unknowns that once again, week 1 when kickoff happens, we really won't know what to expect.
No,
I mean,
you won't say like,
hey, you won't be able to say, hey, they're going to be able to get after Bo Nix. You don't know. I know that Stone Cold, still waiting for Stone Cold to come up on this podcast.
Stone Cold's got to come out here. I mean, another guy that's going to come out here that I was watching this podcast the other day a little bit is the Honey Badger, man. I gave him a ring, sent him a text today. Tyron, we want you on the show, man. Tyron was talking about, he coming from New Orleans and stuff. One of his guys that came out of there, he had a chance to rap with when he was here visiting camp for a couple of days. Cyrus Allen, man. And he said Cyrus, he said Cyrus is a dog. He said he really likes Cyrus. He goes, he was asking me all the right questions, man. He goes, this is a kid that's hungry, asking all the right questions. So I hope Cyrus has a big year this year, bro.
On his podcast, he went on, did Honey Badger, and say he said Mark, or receipts that Shamari Connor is going to have an all-pro type season at the safety position.
I love it.
And he said he was doing
that.
Well, and Shamari, they were playing him out of position.
Right.
He should have never been playing slot. Like, he was serviceable, but he was so much better in that safety role. And Tyron said, they're using him a ton like they used him.
Right.
Like a ton like how they used him, and sees him really succeeding in that role.
But I think they were just putting they were putting him in spots we just needed him in. Instead of playing him where he's comfortable and where he really excels, I think they were putting him in spots just to fill him up.
So he said that after visiting that Shamari Connor is going to be a guy that he said all pro. That's what he's like. He's all pro, or at least a Pro Bowl. That he said that from that position he's playing.
Would anybody be shocked outside of Kansas City if this team went 13-4, 14-3? Would anybody be shocked?
Oh, I think everyone would be shocked. I don't think anyone's predicting him to go 13-3 and do. I mean, there's. I mean, once again, you would have to have Mahomes be perfect, them to stay healthy, the defense to come. I mean, that's just too much to ask of a team. I mean, and as competitive as the schedule is, I don't see. You'd have to say that Josh is all pro left tackle. You'd have to say that K9 rushes for 1,400 and 10-12. You'd have to see she goes for 1,200, 1,300 yards, 8 or 9 touchdowns. Worthy plays the whole season. I mean, there's a lot, and and it's going to get me to the point, of talking this and where they're going is that. I'm worried about what the offense is going to be able to do, and it's sad to me in a sense that it's kind of been since Mahomes came in the league and they were explosive. The last 3 years they've been 15th, and 21st, and even before Mahomes got hurt, they were trending in that direction of not scoring points and not. So I think, and there was a great article I read today that said there is a ton of pressure on Brett Veach and Andy Reid. Not that they're going to lose jobs if the season goes awry, but of how the roster was constructed and how it was built. So it's a huge year.
Okay. So let's just stay with that for a minute though. And I asked you a minute ago. I said, do you think if this team went 13-4, 14-3, would people be would they be
She said shocked or surprised.
No, would people be shocked if this team went 13-4, 14-3? And my saying that is I'm not picking them to go 14-3 or 13-4. I would not be shocked. And let me tell you why. You look at a guy like 15 and what he does. That guy's got such a chip on his shoulder right now. Last year was a year where the year before we were 10-1 in one-score games. Last year we were 0-7 in one-score games. So to me, you're not that far off. And we had guys injured. Josh Simmons got injured during the year. There was just things that just happened, snowballed, and then Mahomes got hurt. I just think at the end of last year, what I saw at One Arrowhead Drive was a lot of people just go, like, man, okay, we just went on a 3-year run when we went back to back to back. It's a lot of extra football. It's a lot of wear and tear on the body. Guys needed to get away. Coaches needed to get away. Scouts needed to get away. It would not shock me to see these guys win the division. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl, but it would not shock me to see them win the division and go 12-5, 14 or 13-4.
I would be absolutely floored if that's what they do. I mean, I'm expecting them to,
So you think like maybe make the playoffs and go 10-6? Maybe is that what,
yeah,
10-7?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the rate, because I think that, once again, I've said this to you, numerous conversations we've had. I think their defense is going to be really good, but it could be week 8, week 9 when all these pieces start. I think their defense is going to be really good.
Okay.
But the part that concerns me, and I think the part that concerns people outside of the organization looking in, and you can hear people in circles talking about it, is wide receiver was the biggest need, and they did not address it. So that's a thing to me. So, Cyrus Allen's having a terrific camp in that, but the fact that you're relying on that, you don't know. They've said, in all due respect, they said Rice has been sluggish getting back into shape, and you kind of think that there's a...
okay, no, I'm listening to everything. I'm listening to everything you're saying. I'm picking up everything that you're putting down. But I want to go and point out, in the years that we won Super Bowls, besides the year in Super Bowl 54 when we had Tyreek, we didn't have any superstar receivers.
No, but when
Marquez Valdez does nothing for me.
But also, we did not. But also the offense was around Kelsey, and when his play started to fall off, when H started to get up, and he wasn't able to get in spaces as maneuver as what he was, the offense really went down. I mean, it really went down. And what's sad to me is since Tyreek, you've never had a true number one receiver. And you look at all these quarterbacks, and it's the same thing they're saying in Buffalo with Josh Allen. You can go out and get these guys, but it's crazy that they don't make an attempt to get these guys like true number ones, and it doesn't happen very often. I mean, Zay Flowers just got a bag, and he's good. He's not a number one.
I don't think he's great.
He's not a number one. But that's why I think it's so important, because once again, why Belichick is he evolved all the times with the squads he had. And this is going to be a team that's going to have to rely a lot more on the run, and a lot more, now, which was once and statistically, where Mahomes has gone from throwing his deep ball, is it pass protection? Is it guys not getting open downfield? But it's doing him a due justice where he just takes two steps back and throws the ball immediately in a 3-yard in a cloud of dust, and it's picks up 4 or 5. So right now, you have obviously Rice coming off of his injury.
Right.
Worthy hasn't practiced in a week because his shoulder's dinged up. I mean, so you're going down the depth chart there, and obviously TK is going to be TK, but he's not TK from 5 years ago, and you don't know what you have behind him. You don't know. I mean, last year was a down year for Noah Gray. I think there was a lot of expectations on Noah last year, and he wasn't there.
Noah slid backwards a little bit last year.
And that's not to say he can't. Yeah, and that's not to say he can't bounce back and have a great year this year, or the year that they thought he was going to project at. So to me, that's the thing. That's the big. And if you would have told me a quarterback team by Patrick Mahomes would be the biggest question mark is on the offensive side, I'd be crazy. I mean, that'd be crazy. But
okay, so staying with that right there, who has more pressure on them coming into the 2026-27 season? Kansas City Chiefs coming off a 6-11 season, and Patrick Mahomes coming off an ACL tear and injury, or is it Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, who have never made it to a Super Bowl, or is it Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, who have never made it to a Super Bowl during that time? Who has more pressure between those three?
I would say it's Josh. I
say 100 it's Josh Allen.
I would say it's Josh. But the thing about Josh though is his play hasn't declined or dipped. He's still been a guy. I mean, he's still been a guy. But I think that it was proven last year. Jacksonville slid under the radar, and that's another team right now. If you were to ask me, sure. Jacksonville under the radar.
They got a nice squad.
They got a nice squad, and quietly,
Trevor Lawrence is legit.
Yes, but quietly, people are like, he can't do it. But I think that was a wake up call when they went up there, and Jacksonville outplayed them.
They did outplay.
I mean, Jacksonville outplayed them, and it was.
If I'm Josh Allen, I'm coming in this season, and I love Josh Allen. I love watching him play. But if I'm Josh, bro, I'm feeling some pressure up there, man. They just built me a brand new stadium. I've had all these years of having good teams, good offenses. They got Cook at running back, and they got pieces everywhere. But I mean, if you're the guy and you're the dude, you can't be the dude unless you win a ring, bro.
No, and
you can't be the guy unless you win. This guy right here on New Heights, he was on New Heights this week. Tom Brady, that's a dude that obviously with the 7 rings was a dude. But bro, Josh Allen, I love him, but bro, if he goes his career and doesn't get a ring, man, I don't see how you rank him up there with one of the most elite. I think that. So I would think out of those three, I mean, it's Josh Allen, and once again, if you're Lamar,
Buffalo,
what type of pressure is Lamar got on him?
I mean, about this. I mean, those guys all kind of. I mean, I think those guys.
Joe Burrow in there.
Joe Burrow's. Yeah, Joe Burrow. I mean, so. And it's funny because there's like they always say, there's different ways to skin a cat.
Right,
there's a million different ways to skin. And right now, what Cincinnati has done is this year, once again, it will be the Chiefs back when Mahomes was scoring 40 a game, where they could just go up and down the field and they could not stop anybody. Because he's fully healthy. They got Chase Brown, the badass running back. Yeah. He's got Higgins back. He's got he's got Jamar Chase, and he's back. So they're going to go up and down the field, but they defensively once again they didn't do anything. So it's like, okay, so what do you do? Do you go out and sign and get active in the they signed traded for someone big on their defensive line, but it's like, but did they do enough defensively to stop people on a consistent basis? And then if you're Buffalo and your big move was to go get DJ Moore from Chicago, who's nice, but if that, I wouldn't be like, oh man, if the Chiefs got him, be like, that's dude's gonna put us over the edge. Yeah. He's nice, and he might have 8 to 10. He's a piece. He's 8 or 10 touchdowns with Josh.
He's a piece. I don't know if he's a guy.
Yeah, but I mean, I think anytime you get those guys, like, we're discussing, they put so much pressure on themselves. Everything's outside noise to them.
Right.
Like they know their clock is ticking. They know that it's not, they're a year older. They know it's,
What is this year for Josh? Is this 8? Because Mahomes, this is 9 for him. So is it 8 for Josh? Josh was 1 year back, right?
Yep.
He was 1 year back. So this is 8 for Josh, 8 for Lamar. Did Lamar come same year as Josh, or is he older?
No, I think Lamar's older. I think Lamar.
Let me just take a look. Let me just take a look and see when Lamar.
But yeah, I mean, I think those, and the thing about it is, you have younger guys that are coming in the league now that have high expectations, that have high expectations. And it proves, about what it means to build a team, a team around your superstar.
So Lamar's rookie season was 2018. So that was he came in with Josh in because 17 was Mahomes, right? Mahomes came in 17.
Yeah.
Mahomes came in 17, and then 18 was the year he started.
So it proves it, like you go and look at how well equipped Seattle's roster was last year, top to bottom.
Yeah.
And they lost dudes now. Obviously, we got one of the big pieces, K9, but Sam Darnold, who was bounced around. He played with Carolina, played with the Jets, and he got there, and he had a phenomenal year with Smith and Jigba, and he won a Super Bowl. But it was the team
Smith
that was
Jigba. What a freak year he had last year. Right?
He's an absolute monster.
Yeah,
and there's guys there. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. I can't even imagine what Mahomes could do with a Smith and Jigba,
if you had the receivers in Cincinnati, if you had those guys here.
And still to this day, it crushes me that they could have had Pickens from Georgia. And Pickens, they missed him, but Pickens is up, in Dallas, and Pittsburgh could, he's a monster. Yeah. Justin Jefferson's a monster. Jamar Chase is a monster. I mean, you have CD Lamb. I mean, you have guys that I would love to pair with Mahomes and let Mahomes be like, this is my guy. And those dudes, they get double teamed on the regular. They beat double teams. They go up and get to let him just cut loose. And he had that with, and the thing about it is, tell me a play, in the last 2 or 3 years that Mahomes has been able to drop back because he's had time and connect with someone downfield. All the big plays, that's what I'm saying. All the big plays he makes scrambling and coming back this way and throwing it 40 yards downfield and making a play. Yeah. But it's not being able to go back in the pocket and someone gets open downfield.
Not since Tyreek was here was he able to go back when we had Mitchell Schwartz at right tackle and we had my man Eric Fisher at left tackle. When he could go back and do a 3-step drop and let it rip and our receiver go get it. That was the last time, bro, when we had Schwartz.
And those guys, and unfortunately, we have not had. And she showed a little bit of it, and I hope he can get back to that for his sake. And I think he was great. He was they talked to him, and he was great. About where he is mentally, and he's surrounding himself with good people right now. So you hope he gets there, but it might be mid-season if he gets there. But it's a guy.
I've been following on Instagram, just staying with this. I've been following on Instagram and watching some of Tyreek Hill's stuff come up. And you hear some inklings. You see him posting some stuff on X and putting some stuff up there. Do you think it's even a possibility? Week 7, week 8, week 9, Tyreek Hill shows up in a Chiefs uniform.
Well, I mean,
would you take a run? Would you take
if the Chiefs are 6-2? 100%.
You take a flyer.
I mean, 100%. But I'm saying
he's not going to give him any money.
No, he's gonna.
He's made all his money. He's not.
He's not going to. Yeah, he's not going to play for league minimum. But I mean, also they'll have an I mean, if they're in that position. But if it's reverse and they're 2-6, he's going to somewhere that's going to contend.
Yes.
I mean, and I think when he's ready, and when you see him, and I've seen him on his Instagram, like he just doesn't have the explosion from his left leg.
Because he said he lost a lot of strength and stuff. In that left
and
leg.
so once again, that's a dude, and I've said this, for years on this podcast. He's a guy that is not going to go out there at 80%.
No,
he's not going to go out there and embarrass himself and be like, "Damn, dude, Tyreek is slow, dude." He won't do that. He'll retire, but he's working so hard to get back at it. I could definitely see a reunion when he's healthy, and depending on where we are record wise.
I've seen him work out in the off season with Luther Glover here in Kansas City. Shout out to Luther Glover and Luther Glover Workouts over there, man. He does some good work over there with a lot of local guys, but he's been Tyreek's guy since Tyreek was here. And I've seen Tyreek go through some work with him. And I'm telling you, when that dude, healthy, whatever, that dude, I mean, he's at it, whether he's playing basketball in the gym or he's running or weights or all the box jumps and all the stuff that Luther had him doing. That dude works at it. If that guy, that to me, that would be like the dream season. If KC 6-2, 7-2, and then that guy shows up on your roster,
and he's missed it. He's missed it.
KC, man.
Yeah, he's missed it. And I think that would be incredible to go out like that if that was the case. And like I said, that wouldn't. Depending on where they are, but if they were in a good position, they were fighting for a playoff spot, fighting for the division, that it makes sense to come in, and he would be such a seamless addition because he knows everything. He knows everything how the organization.
He knows all the coaches,
and he
man.
just slides right in and just like what he's another he's someone that and if they're humming like that, and if they are 6-2, 7-2, that means Worthy's making plays, or she's making plays, or Cyrus Allen making plays.
Taekwon Thornton.
That they're those guys are out there making plays, and then the running game and K9.
Man, we get some backs, dude. We get some backs. If our offensive line protects, I think this offense will come along. I think you're going to see Noah Gray, Jared Wiley in this offense. That's going to help Kelsey out a bunch. If the receivers, if we have an offensive line that will hold up and protect, and they will protect for Patrick, I think this offense will put some stuff up. But hey, listen, let's just take a break real quick. We'll come back. We'll dive into a little bit more Chiefs. We'll talk some KU-MU that's coming up, Rockers East, because I want to keep reiterating to people, we're going to be out at the Rockers East game. We're going to be at KU Mizzou. We're going to be out there. Like I said, check our social media stuff. We're going to take a quick break, then we'll get back. We'll talk a little bit about my man, Jack Caglione.
Cags.
Yeah, Cags, he's starting to hit the cover off the ball right now. Let's take a break. We'll come right back.
Sounds good.
All right. Without our sponsors, guys, we can't do our shows. We wanted to give a big shout out and thank you to Maloney's Sports Bar and Grill. You guys, they're telling us right now what you need to do is schedule your fantasy football drafts at Maloney's. What a great place to schedule your fantasy football draft. Schedule your fantasy football draft, and they're just so excited and talking about all the specials and stuff that they're going to have coming up for the fall. They said you're going to be able to come out and watch, start with Thursday night college games, all the college football, NFL, all the specials and stuff they have. But they're saying get there right now and start scheduling your fantasy football draft. Schedule that at Maloney's. Great TVs up top and bottom. Yes. And like we've said before, man, their wait staff and bar staff's great. They always keep us plenty filled up with cocktails. And we 100%. Couldn't have had more fun last year shooting there for the KU.
Yeah. And it's like it's probably my favorite place. I don't like to go like big games as far as like Chiefs games but it's one of the best places to watch college football. It's college football Saturdays there. It's a special place.
Awesome.
It's a special place. And there's so many different school like support for school. You see Iowa, you see Kansas State. So they couldn't do it without those guys, and it's a dope place.
Yeah,
for sure. Shout
Shout out to Maloney's, you guys. Get over there. Like I said, get your schedule, your fantasy football drafts, and then get out there and watch all the games and stuff that are going to start coming up. Great place to watch and eat food. So Maloney's, thank you for being such a great sponsor.
We might pull up there tonight.
We might be there. Thank you for everything.
Thanks, Maloney's.
Welcome back to Love You Bro Podcast. We are back here in Love You Bro Podcast Studio West, which is one of our new studios, which is our home base here in Prairie Village. We still love going over to Lula, man. Those guys have been great to us over there.
The best.
Gilmore's have been great. We have a great situation over there to be able to shoot there when we want. We get to shoot at the bridge.
Oh, yeah. When the weather breaks, man, in the bridge, that's going to be the move right now.
Yeah,
that'll be the move.
We'll do some shows over there. Let's talk a little bit, man. We're going to get, not today all the way, excuse me, but we're going to get into the high school football situation this season. I know East and Rockers are both going to be pretty highly ranked. I think East is supposed to be pretty good this year. I know Rockers is going to be up there, but we are going to do a podcast on that Thursday night, September 10th. You guys need to come out and see us. We're going to have sponsors. We're going to have T-shirts. We're going to be doing all the stuff out there for the Rockers East game at Shawnee. I'm going to have to double check, so don't quote me, but I think it's at Shawnee. It's either Shawnee South or Shawnee North. It's a home game for East.
Okay.
So we'll figure out where that is. We're going to be there, and then we'll follow up. We're 99% sure that we are shooting at the Kansas-Missouri football game on Friday, September 11th, which happens to be our wedding anniversary as well, September 11th. So it sounds like my wedding anniversary. No, what am I talking about, bro? It's October 11th, not September 11th. Sorry, man. September 11th, we're going to do.
At least it's a month early and not a month late.
We're doing the KU. I kept thinking, Anyway, KU Missouri, what a huge game that's going to be. Bro, I mean, I don't know. People are saying Kansas doesn't have enough bullets for that KU-MU game.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I'm just hoping the weather's nice. New stadium,
it's a Friday night. I mean,
it's going to be
it's
beautiful.
I mean, even if it's 80 degrees during the day or 85, just say, I mean, by the time it gets dark out, it's going to be perfect out there.
Are you a little bummed? I'm a little bummed it's not on a Saturday, man.
No,
you can do the whole Saturday.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. But also, I think Friday night for that and how cool the stadium will look, and it'll feel like I said, it'll be Friday Night Lights, man. It'll be super cool, and it'll be what's incredible is that it will be. I have friends in Lawrence, and they're like, Airbnbs are booking up, hotels are booking up because people go up there and make a night of it.
Yes.
You'll work that Friday afternoon, take off, go up there, do happy hour at the Hawk, go back to the hotel, shower, go to the game, and then make a night of it Friday night out in Lawrence, Kansas.
We have a lot of people already too. When you're talking about the people that'll be setting up for that and gearing up to go to that, we already have people that are already booking transportation. So another one of our sponsors, Primetime Transportation. Go to www.kcprimetime.com. kcprimetime.com to book your stuff. We've got sedans, we got Suburbans, we got Sprinters, but there's already people booking Sprinters and Suburbans
for sure.
to go up there that want to, they want to set their bar up and they want to go tailgate and everything.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be a big night in Lawrence.
It's gonna be awesome, and I love it that it is a Friday night and it's early in the year and it's not in late November where it's freezing, and it just so I think it sets up to be awesome, and I think it'll be super cool, and the energy will be incredible that it's it's back in Lawrence. So yeah, I'm stoked to see that, man.
Bro, think about that weekend for us. It's gonna kick off on Thursday night, Rockers Shawnee Mission East, which should be a really good game.
Super
With some
fun,
big players on the meet. It's gonna be a blast that night. Then we're gonna head right up to Lawrence the next night to do KU Missouri. Then that weekend we're gonna be getting ready and just busting out the seams to get to Monday night to see Chiefs Broncos.
Yeah,
I mean, that
slate NFL slate on week 1 is phenomenal.
Yeah,
I mean, it's an awesome slate.
College games all day Saturday, and then NFL Sunday.
And then you kick it off with Seattle and New England. Kick it off on Thursday night, which is going to be a badass game.
Thursday night, okay.
Yeah, that's going to be a badass game. So yeah, that's going to be. I mean, once again, it's kind of getting to the time now. It's like I said, it's all about. It's all about football, and there's new stuff happening daily, and there are people in training camps. There's people. I mean, there's stories constantly happening. Yeah. So right now it's rolling, man. It's rolling. I know we want to get Derek Johnson on before we hit to that second week against the Colts. Derek will be getting honored to be in the Ring of Honor at Arrowhead. Ring of Honor.
He'll go in the Hall of Fame Ring of Honor at Arrowhead for the Chiefs. That's going to be a big alumni weekend. We got to get DJ on so we can talk a little bit about that. We're going to have to go out to Rockers and East, man. We're going to have to go with Coach Donahoe, Coach Semino, get some of the Rockers East players on before that game, and then do a little preview for KU Missouri. So we got a lot of fun shows coming up, man.
For sure.
I can't wait to dive into those. But let's backtrack for just a minute. Not so much in the football world, we're so super excited for that. But even though the Royals are having such a tough season, they've been banged up and hurt. Have you been watching? I know you have, because you pay attention to this stuff all the time. You've been paying attention to what Jack Cagliano's been doing.
Yeah, I mean, he's been. It's crazy what he's done and what he's doing. And you can tell that from last year, because last year he really struggled. I mean, he struggled where it was like and. I hated it because it's like, okay, you're going to ruin this kid. He's going to have no confidence. But, I mean, he has been dialed in, and, like, you see some of the metrics and see some of the things and what his comps are like right now and what he's doing and how far he's hitting balls and opposite field balls. And, and I'm hitting, bombs. I mean, he's hitting bombs. And
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But, bro, we have receipts. We have receipts from Carter Jensen. Carter Jensen was on our podcast twice. And Carter Jensen talked both times, especially in the season leading up to this year, and when he came on in January.
Oh yeah,
talking about, because we were talking about Cags, now he struggled last year, whatever, and he was like, "Bro, I'm so close to this." He goes, "This dude is a 25-30 home run dude."
Oh yeah,
hitter. He goes, "I've seen this kid hit balls like you said, opposite and do all the stuff." So we got receipts from when Carter Jensen said,
for sure.
Don't pull off a Jack Cagliano.
That's Mr. Katea's boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what do you? So there is, and we talked a little bit with the number one Royals fan ever, our boy Chris Jones.
Number one, love you, bro, podcast fan.
Yeah,
he listens every week,
does.
man. Chris Jones, shout out to Chris Jones.
Such a great friend. And he is, he's in, everything Royals.
Yeah.
I hadn't talked to him for like a month or so. I'm like, because he knows I'll be negative, and he just so Royals, and he, they could lose 15 in rows. Like, but, blah, blah, blah. The bullpen's got a sub 3 ERA.
Joe's always find some blue sky out there somewhere.
100%. But I love it. And there is pieces to be excited about in Kansas City, and obviously, Bobby Witt, and obviously, Carter, and now Cags. I mean, they got a good young nucleus. You just hope, next year. We talked a little bit today that Josh Vernier had John Sherman on, and
that's what I wanted you to touch on. What we talked about today,
and John Sherman, he understands and recognizes that he needs to open his checkbook.
Right.
He needs to open his checkbook, and some people, not as me as much. I wish I were a little bit more aggressive, but he's opened his paybook when they went and paid Walken, went and paid Lugo, and went and get contract to Witt, and went and get contracts to Garcia, and went and get so he's not he's not against it, but he really needs to. They need to bring in at least 2 starters next year, and you're not going to get you're not going to be in the schoolboy running, but there's Freddie Peralta's out there who a couple years ago he didn't have the year that he was supposed to, but Freddie Peralta's, you have Zach Golan from Arizona. You have Glossman, who the Chicago Cubs just traded for.
Right.
So there's guys they can go get.
We've talked numerous times on the show about Q with the Royals, and I'm not a Q fan. I know that's easy to say with what they're doing right now, but I'm going to point out something that we had talked about on this show, and we had talked about with baseball people and stuff. And then we had, a good friend of mine, we had PJ Alvarez on. You were gone one week, and PJ came and co-hosted with me, and we talked about Jack Caglione being picked sixth overall by the Royals, and how many times early in the season that Q was like, we're not going to play Cags against left-handers.
Yeah,
you can't draft a guy 6. If you see what he did in L.A. against Tarek Skubal.
Oh yeah.
Bomb, bro. He had a bomb off, and you're talking about the best left-handers in the game.
Oh yeah, but it took him. It took him a little runway to get ramped up where he was. But I agree. I think, and that matter of fact, opening night when he was not in the lineup, Carter was not in it because they had Chris Sale going a week.
So we sit him.
Yeah, and I was like, that's crazy to me. But yeah, no, I think that.
Come on, Coach Q. Come on.
Yeah, and I think that Q is a wonderful man. He is a great man. I just don't think. I think they went from Matheny, who was over the top, fly off the handle about anything, to the most mild mannered. He doesn't change one bit if they win, they lose.
Time to clean house. And the hitting coach has to go. Q's got to go.
I heard a very interesting. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about it and seeing what direction they would go, and they said on this podcast that the next manager for the Kansas City Royals could be Andrew Pujols.
God, I would love that, man.
That he was great with Puerto Rico, whoever he was with. He coached the WBC.
Yeah.
Yes. So I was going to call him Andrew, but Albert being the manager, coming home, and that's obviously not St. Louis, but he's from Fort Osage.
Kansas City. Kansas City.
That he could come
in Independence,
and he could be the right mixture of what they need with these young kids, and get put them to that point of. But they were tossing around, but so it'll be interesting to see. I think that if. In all indications now, they're going to come back with the same. But I think next year, if it starts off poorly and they have a shitty April, then he's got to be gone. Like if you want to
wait till next year. I get rid of Q. The hitting coach is terrible, bro. Hitting coach has got to go. I think Q's got to go now.
Yeah.
I think you go get some new coaches for next year and try to see where we're going to be at. And get some pitching, open up the pocketbooks a little bit, and hope that Carter Jensen comes and has another year the way he's having right now, and Cags continues to grow. I think you put Cags at first. If you put Cags at first, what do you do with Vinny?
Did
you trade him?
He could be, but I think his value is so low, like being injured, and he's been kind of injured. And
he was a 30 home run guy last year.
Yeah. The last 2 or 3 years, he hit 25 and drove 100.
Yeah.
So I love last year when we were making, or was it 2 years ago when we made that run, he got hurt. That sucked because he got hurt in that freak accident where Urseg hit the ball, hit his hand, and then do you remember that?
Yes.
I literally watched.
The playoffs, 24.
Yes, I literally watched. I was like, that's it for the season. I mean, Ursay caught it, and threw it, and then he ran into his hand. But no, I mean, I put it this way: I'm not relying on him to come back to be a 30 and 100 guy. If he does, fantastic, and that's awesome. But I mean, I think it's another, if he's a 17 and 80 RBI guy, great, to the lineup. And Mikel's another one. They paid Mikel, and I just, or Mikey Garcia. No. And when the thing about it is, he had phenomenal World Baseball Classic. He was the MVP of the World Baseball Classic. I mean, he was that guy, and I was like, defensively he was a stud because he was original shortstop, but he's not moving Bobby. But played great third base and was starting to hit for power, can steal bases. And then this year was like a flop. I mean, it was just like it was a flop. It was a flop, and they have to make better decisions this year. Paying Jonathan India $8 million on a player option, and India sucks. I hate to say it. I'm sure he's a great guy, but he was terrible. He was terrible. His thing when he's coming over from Cincinnati was he could hit home runs. He could hit home runs. Everyone knew metrically he was a terrible defensive second baseman, but he could hit. He brought a little dirt bag to the lineup and so he never panned out. This year, giving him that $8 million option, considering Jazz Chisholm, who people don't like, but he signed for $10 million this year, so $2 more million, and he'll go hit 25 bombs. He might only bat 220, but if you're hitting 25 bombs, that's something I can do. And is pretty athletic at second base and do that. But then the Strom deal, the Matt Strom. I love Strom. When Strom came, here, I was like, that's a guy that welcome him back to Kansas City, and he's filthy. He's filthy from the left side, and had been in big games. And then the Jonathan Bolin who gave it to him is dealing in Philadelphia right now. And Strom is DFA'd, and he was kind of, I mean, from if you hear reports, he's kind of a dickhead in the clubhouse. It wasn't a guy that you would seem like he was when he left. So whatever that is, and he gave up the grand slam, which was, it was gut wrenching, where it was like, okay, we're going to get this. So yeah, man, it'll be interesting. I mean, Cruz,
close,
like,
right?
Yes. Cruz, Passon was saying that he's like, there's probably a handful of guys that has his stuff. Now he's like, I don't know if he has it between the ears. I don't know. But as far as just plain filthiness, he's like, that guy's when he's on, he's 100, 101 on the paint, and he goes, the slider's a wipeout slider, one of the best in baseball when it's on. So when you see him, it's like, dude, that's not fair. That dude is bringing it, like, and his windup's kind of deceptive, and it's like, and then a big I told you this earlier today, a big piece is getting Urseg right. And Urseg, he good dude, man, good dude, and a guy that when he came over from the Athletics, dude, it was filthy. Once again, 97, 98.
That
he was
slide piece he throws, man.
I mean, but then he just started to lose confidence and get shelled, and he hasn't been the same. But he's a guy that's under control, which you need, and you need him. You need him to get right, whether it's down in the minors the rest of the season, get right, and come back next year with a role in the bullpen. I hate and I understand it, but Lynch going to the rotation, and it has to be. I can't imagine from an organizational standpoint, you're going to be like, hey, Lynch is really good in this role. Let's move him to the starting rotation, no matter how desperate it is.
He's been good. He's been so good out of the bullpen.
Lynch was great.
He's good out of the
Lynch
bullpen.
was great, and and I said this a couple years back when Bubic came back, dude, Bubic was nasty in the year went to the playoffs from the bullpen.
Yeah,
and it was like, that's his role.
Yes.
It's a great role from the lefty, and he because he was a guy that was always considered didn't throw real hard, but he went up like 2 or 3 clicks to 96, 97 from
the bullpen. When he had a pen.
Yes, right. And it was like just keep him there. And I know starting pitches is a commodity and it's hard to get, but if you have guys really, really successful in those roles, like keep that. And one thing the Royals were always able to do was to build a bullpen.
Right.
I mean that was Dayton Moore.
They started it all, man.
Dayton
they
Moore,
started it all.
That Dayton Moore, and they had Herrera, they had Wade Davis, and the lefty. What was his name? Filthy though.
Well, so we had Davis coming out of there. Who
Herrera,
else?
and then
Herrera, Davis. Who was the other guy?
It's gonna kill me, but yes, I mean they had. It was absolutely filthy. It was filthy because then he was a closer. Holland.
Oh,
Holland closed. Davis was in the 8th.
But who closed after Holland? Then when Holland,
Wade Davis. Wade Davis, and he was absolutely filthy.
Right,
The when we won it in 15, I don't think he gave up a run throughout the.
Wade Davis was filthy,
dude. Wade Davis, but then you had Herrera in the 8th,
right.
and then even back then when Hochevar, they found Hochevar was like a 6th inning guy.
Hochevar,
and he was bringing it 98,
Hochevar, Hernandez, Davis, and
Herrera, and then it was but it was Holland at first. It was Holland. Holland was the 9th. Wade Davis was the 8th, and then Herrera was the 7th. Dude, that 7th, 8th, 9th, they
once they got to the 6th,
it was over.
Lights out.
It was. Those three, and they were all bringing it 99.
How fun was that? 14, 15, man, when they were in the playoffs. World Series.
And I think that's why Kansas City, and they're deserving. I mean, this city, loves. I mean, they obviously love the Chiefs, but it's such a Royals town, and that felt different. I didn't get to experience it when we were young, when they were good in the 80s. It didn't mean as much to me. It just you would watch. Back then they weren't even on TV, but you knew they were good, and reading the Casey Star, you knew they're good. But that 14 and 15 was such a and it all started when we hosted the All-Star game. Remember that? And we went to the home run derby and started the All-Star game. Then they brought your boy James Shields, and he completely changed the dynamic of the clubhouse and was a guy. But then, dude, in 14, I'll never forget. In 14 when we're making that run. Or was it 15? It was 15 when they went out and got Zobrist at the deadline. And Johnny Cueto. And I was there the night Johnny Cueto was shoving. I mean, against the Astros when he closed them out in Game 5.
Yeah.
And he'd do all that herky jerky and delayed stuff. He was filthy. And I mean, that was such
Zobrist
a fun
had a huge year.
And those dudes, back in 14 and 15, they had an identity. They had everyone hated them. They'd fight everyone. Yeah. They were assholes. Yeah. They were, Haas, and he had his haircut that took over the city.
Hosmer,
and
Moose,
Kane. And then, may his soul rest in peace. You had Giordano Ventura
he throwing.
You, bro. Oh, dude, he had a lot of Pedro Martinez in him, dude, and was cocky and everything. And we went to that Game 6. I remember your brother Vic and I went to Game 6 when it was a must win, and he shut up the Giants. I mean, he was filthy. He was on point, and so, dude, that was so much fun. And you couldn't wait to the next day, the playoff game, and what it was like you get your shit done, whatever you need to do.
To see a small market team like that do what they did in 14 and 15 was awesome.
Yeah, and you knew if your starter could get Guthrie could get you to the 5th. It's like that's all. The guy that now is the executive in Texas, the tall dude. He was the one relief pitch we had, that real slow. I know. But I mean, you would. But he had to start some games.
Yeah, he started games in playoffs in 14.
Yeah. And he was like, you just get. And then the kid from Anaheim, but that came over for us. But yeah, I mean, we just had Vargas.
Yes.
So Vargas, and then Vargas. When you look at that, in your starting rotation was Vargas, and but once again, just get us to the 5th. Keep him in it, and that was once again. Chiefs have had magical runs, but you don't have a game like we did against the Oakland Athletics at the time, and you're down. It's over.
Wild card.
And George Brett's that thing will say it all, where his hands just go to his head, and Salvi hits that one down the line,
and extra innings.
Yes, to win it, and then it was like holy shit. And then we went on that run because then we hosted Anaheim, swept Anaheim,
swept Anaheim, and then swept the Orioles.
Then swept the Orioles, and I was there at that game when they went on. I mean, when they won, and to hear it erupt when it hit that grounder to Moose, goes over to Hosmer, and then we swept. And then we had Toronto, and we had Toronto.
Well, that was the 15. 15 is when we beat Toronto. We beat Toronto in 15.
Oh yeah, we beat.
LCS, we beat the Orioles. We beat the Orioles. We swept Anaheim, then we beat the Orioles after we beat
to go. But that was a magical. So I hopefully they like I said, Josh Vernier had
Listen, we'll have Jones in a few weeks when the season winds down. We'll have Jones call in for a little final show about the Royals, talking about that. Let's just get it. We're getting excited about Chiefs Rams. I know it's the first preseason game on Saturday. We'll get excited for that. Some of the guests we're going to bring on here coming up here in the next few weeks, man. We got some big shows coming up. A lot of great sponsorship opportunities. So I'm going to be reaching out to a lot of people to see who wants to sponsor some shirts. We got some stuff we're going to get done for the Rocker Seats game.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
Mizzou. So
I'm pumped.
Yeah, a lot of fun stuff, man. Thank you to all of our sponsors for, like I said, everything you guys do for us to allow us to do our show. Super excited to do it here at Love You Bro Love You Bro Podcast Studio.
A couple things real quick. You guys aren't going out there Saturday, are you?
Oh no, we have stuff going on. We have a wedding shower Saturday, and then we've got we have a 50th birthday party.
Crazy hot. But then, so real quick before we sign off of that, give me 3 things that you're going to look forward to. Obviously, Mahomes isn't playing.
Look at that. Look at my girl over here. My girl Marley.
She got clown makeup on.
Sit down, Bubba. Sit down, Bubba. Here's our dog Marley. She is a lab pit mix we've had for about 13 years. She wanted to come on air because she knew that Teddy and Minnie got on last week. So, hey Marley, how you doing?
Yeah, she's like. So
All
three
right,
things.
Marley,
Three players. Three things you're looking forward to on Saturday. Obviously, we know who's not playing, but Mansour won't play. Is it Peter Woods? Is it?
I want to see what the rookies do. I want to see what the rookies do. See an Arrowhead.
I want to see what Khalil Benson, what he's about when live bullets fly, and what he's about, and so that's kind of thing. And then my thing is the running back room with Emmett Johnson, what he's about, what he's doing. And then defensively, some of those guys that they got in the draft and what they're going to do,
right.
Because this is a time that you'll be able to separate yourself, and there's jobs to be had,
right?
And there's
there's
jobs to be had. The one disappointing thing, and we'll leave with this, is that Tobe came out, and the special teams have been horrendous the last couple of years. But he gave Remigio it's going to be the guy again. That's just not the guy for me. I cannot believe they have one of the guys in training camp can't be that guy, because it's going to be a numbers crunch. And when you go to that receiver, somebody's going to be left off because he doesn't really play receiver. He's a returner.
Of course.
And if he was prolific, you're like, okay, yes, you got to have that guy. McCole was dynamic back there when he was. I mean, he could take it to the house.
Right.
Not that Remigio is bad, but he just. I don't know if you can't.
He doesn't do anything for you.
If he takes up a roster spot where you have to cut a tight end or a running back or somebody down the line, because you're not going to keep 6 or 7, or you're not going to keep 7 receivers, 4 tight ends, 4 running backs. So that's kind of a log jam. But I'd like to see something different. So it's just great to have football back, man. It's here. It's like it's time. And even though I get it way too hot for me, I don't care if I said I could call the first 4 plays. I'm like, nah, I'm straight on that because it's way too hot. But people will be out there, and people, the tailgating will be going on.
To have football back and see Arrowhead back on the stadium, man. See Arrowhead back on the sign. Football is back, you guys. Preseason week 1 for us. We got Chiefs Rams on Saturday. We'll see what we're going to come back with. We're excited about our guests coming up, brother. We'll be excited about our shows coming up. So we're going to have a lot of fun, man.
Yeah. Next week, maybe we'll get into some KU football. And who's back on campus coaching this? Aqib Talib.
Aqib Talib's back coaching?
In Lawrence.
Dude, we're going to reach out and try to get Aqib Talib on.
He's back, and what a stud to have back,
Absolutely.
in Lawrence. And he's
let's
back.
Let's see if we can't reach out and try to get Aqib on. Hey, guys, thank you again for watching. Please, like I said, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Go and subscribe and follow us because, like I said, that helps us continue building what we've been building here. Brother, till next week, man. Love you, bro.
Love you, bro.
I'm out. We're out.